Have you been feeling stuck in the runner-chaser dynamic and tired of that push-pull that keeps you trapped and keeps you bound to not moving forward in your life or in love? If so, stay tuned because I'm going to share with you 3 ways to overcome twin flame toxicity. Hello, fellow flames. In case we haven't met, my name is Dr. Harmony, and I will help you live fearless, live loved, and live free. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when all my videos go live. And if you're returning, welcome back. And I am so excited to be back myself. And I'm not full force yet from my recovery, but I'm restoring, rebounding, and gaining strength every day. And so thank all of you for your continued messages, prayers, love, and energy as I've been healing from and restoring or finding balance from the having had the virus. With that being said, before I move into this topic of the twin flame toxicity and 3 ways that you can overcome that, and we'll talk about a little bit about how that connects to that runner-chaser dynamic, I just also want to add that, we go through things, including this twin flame experience, including the virus, to trigger within us what it is that we need to see so we can heal it, so we can transform it, so we can become more of a higher version of ourselves. I mentioned that that is what's happened to me with, the virus. So, it doesn't matter what our sparks are. I mentioned last week, instead of triggers, we're going to talk about sparks. It doesn't matter what the sparks are. We create the experiences that we need in order for us to heal the wounds, the shadows, and to transform what is inside of us that has not been seen, heard, or acknowledged. So, how that relates then to today's topic is you have to realize, when it comes to the twin flame runner chaser dynamic, that the only runner is you from yourself and what's inside. And so even before I go there, I feel guided to say a couple other things about this topic. There's so much controversy about the twin flame journey, in the fact that just believing it is toxic. And, what I feel, it's a personal journey. Only you can choose if you are really in one or not. I know personally, my experience took me down a path of a reality that linked to a history of it being real. And that it was not something that was made up. And I work with people every day. And there's no way people all over around the world could have the same stories, the same scenarios, the same things coming in to them and seeing the same things and getting the same information, just like the Mayan, the calendar came in, and from all over the world, they got the information of how to make time, space, reality, and track calendar, but there was no communication, right? So we're getting this communication that is real from places from all over. So whether you believe it's a truth of being a twin flame, or whether you believe being a twin flame is toxic, is really a personal decision and is not to be judged by anyone. And it's not to say anyone is right or wrong. But what I will say is the concept of it is for a purpose and a mission that is beyond the toxicity of what we are seeing. The actual truth of twin flames is divine love. And that is rising above the toxicity so that we can experience the divine love that is the true essence of what twin flames came here in a mass group in those 3 waves of twin flames that Dolores Cannon talks about. And I also have a video called The 3 Waves of Twin Flames. I'll put a link below. Make sure to check that out if you've not seen that. I'll also put a link above. But we came in 3 waves to change history. So regardless of what this is from a standpoint of the relationship, if you believe it or you don't, we need to get away from that, but we also need to get away from the label. Because as I said in the video that I made, another video you should watch if you've not watched is what does it mean to be a twin flame in 2021? If all systems are breaking down, all the beliefs of what twin flames were are moving from this concept of a history to a wholeness, completeness, oneness of universal love that is beyond the twin flame concept as well. That's why so many people are confused. And that's why, is it, truth or taboo? Only you can choose that. But the key, I think, in this is how this connects to the toxicity of that. The toxicity becomes if you allow it to rule and take over your life in a way that you personally are not moving forward, and that you personally aren't willing to take responsibility for the fact that you chose this experience. You chose it from a place of learning more from a soul level and becoming more in the process of that, and letting go of all of the obsessions and the toxicity that you've connected to your whole life, down to toxic relationships with every other person you've had in your life besides just your twin flame. And it really ultimately links to the relationship you have with your parents in this particular life. Not to mention past life things that were clearing toxic, but we've gotten through a lot of that. We're kind of more into this present state now of healing these childhood wounds, which, by the way, I have a great course to help you do that. I'll put a link below for that as well. That can help you identify why you chose your parents and your major lessons, and help you repattern all the programs and heal the subconscious wounds, transform the pain, and then reprogram all of the reasons why you keep attracting toxic people and partners into your life. So with that being said, the first way that you can help remove this toxicity from your life is to, number one, lose the twin flame label. All right? Because this is what I tell people when they come to me now and ask, I want to identify, is this my twin flame or not? We're in a timeline and an era, only you can know that. Nobody, no reader, no person can tell you that or confirm that for you. Because it's a matter of your ability to know your own truth and to know if you connect to the history of that, if that's your belief system and that's your truth. No one can give you that truth. It's your truth, if you believe in it or you don't. But the problem is, the label itself carries a toxic program. And people are stuck on the toxic program of the label, the twin flame, period, down to that the whole community is toxic, okay? And that's okay, because it's shadow and light, and everybody has a right to their own truth, and maybe that's their truth, okay? But I also got to say, they're carrying the other end of the bridge of what's coming to the new. So they're seeing something from a different level, and it doesn't make it neither one right or wrong. But I don't care if you're going to the doctor for a diagnosis and you were fine until they said you have cancer, and 1 month later you die. But you might have had it for the last 3 or 4 years, right? So when it comes to connecting to the twin flame label, it can become very toxic because people get connected to the idea that only this one person is my destiny, and only am I ready to be with this person, yet I'm willing to settle for less than what I deserve because it's one-sided. They're not even, that's toxic, which technically moves me into the second way to help overcome this toxicity, is to realize this toxicity is within you. It's not about pain or blame here. I should say it's about the pain and not the blame, but it's not about the twin or anyone else in your life, parents, whoever, The minute you blame, you're disempowering yourself and you're becoming the victim. And you're allowing yourself to stay stuck in a pattern and in a loop that you cannot change this until you realize you created it. And you may not have created it consciously, but from a standpoint of your superconscious contract with your soul that says you want to learn, connected to the subconscious programming and patterning that you've done your whole life, adding in these memories of the soul that knows certain things, that feels certain things, that you are potentially reacting on because you have stuffed emotions that you haven't dealt with. And like I've said last week that, I not dealt with it. It's like my whole life is dumping out, but at the same token, everything about what I do is changing. So it's important, one thing to realize in this, the true essence of twin flame love is not toxic. The toxicity is inside. The love, what you have to see is that if you're with that person or not, if they have sparked you to find you, to love you, that is a gift. And until you can see it as a gift and then actually have the gratitude for them, you're missing the whole point of the twin flame journey and what twin flame love is. Twin flame love is not about somebody filling your void and showing up and it being all roses and fairy tales. The actual essence of the true twin flame journey from a synergistic pattern says we have highs and they're high, and we can have lows when we're low. But we have a common denominator that we are two strong and powerful people that's willing to take personal responsibility for our own part in the synergistic flow between the two partners. So if you've been in a situation and you are not sure if it's your twin or not, and it's toxic, know that part of the lesson is to move away from the toxicity from that person, but to look inside because you could be running from them because you don't want to see yourself. So that's the one thing. The second thing is you can do the flip side and you can just keep going through the patterns over and over and over and thinking, what do they teach me? What do they teach me? I just got to keep doing this until they get it. And if I do enough work, they're going to get it. And then we're going to be together. And the minute you think that you're going to do all this work to allow anyone to come into your life to fill that void, then you're missing the point of your own power. And the lesson that you need is to take back and claim that power and to heal those inner wounds, to bring in your femininity, to ask yourself, why can I not even receive love? Because what it is you're stuck in a pattern of like, it becomes a natural pattern that love is toxic. I mean, you've heard of those love-hate relationships, right? We're addicted to the pain is what it is. So we go through these experiences to get the high from it, but we're just as addicted to the pain. So when we have the high and then the pain comes, we are addicted to the pain to keep creating the pain, to keep ourselves going through cycles of sabotage. And then that causes us to feel rejected, to be the victim, to become the chaser, which is an addictive personality, which in the energetic force of that pushes everything you want away because you become obsessive. And it's the OCD obsessiveness that is about you learning how to let go of control. That's a form of this toxicity you need to realize that's inside of you. So one of the things is in that second one, if you realize, the toxicity, so what I encourage you to do is to take a look at where is this toxicity coming from? And I talked about this last week. Where are these wounds? Where are they stored in your body? What emotions are they? What are they trying to say to you? What feelings is it that you have that is wanting to be heard? Because that's really what's happening here is you're feeling rejected and want to be heard, and you maybe haven't been heard your whole life. But to realize that when you also stuff these emotions and you don't deal with them, they're manifesting somewhere in your body, in your thoughts, or in your life, creating a vibration of that which you're vibrating on that's magnetizing to you everything that you are. So in the third way that you can overcome this toxicity would be to take personal responsibility for your own vibration. And some ways you can do that is, number one, stop chasing your twin flame. Stop chasing anything. And when you realize everything I'm telling you, the runner chaser stops, but it stops within. And that may not mean that it stops with that person, because that might complete the contract, and that's the toxic person that got you here and are not of your highest good, but will open the space to bring in who it is you are to be with. And I always say only you can choose that, of course. But if this has been a repetitive cycle on and on and on and on, it's time to get off the wheel. That definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting something different. And I have so many times people say to me, but I need to finish, I didn't get this done. I need to tell the twin this. I need to say it one more time. I told him this, that. The problem is, in the kind of grand finale lesson is, you've already done what it is you need to do on the one side of the coin. You've already showed up in a place that you've been kind, loving, forgiving, overlooked. All right. And you have also then been at a place to see it from a higher love of where they're at and what they're doing. But what you have to do is call back the power you lost in this. And you have to take control, and you have to pull that back, and you have to stop waiting for some outcome that might be different than the control of what you're trying to make it. And so you're creating what you think it is, and the loop and the pattern is playing over and over and over again until you stop chasing anything and realize that it's your vibration that is magnetizing everything. And so it's about the choices that you make and letting go of the expectations, and to realize you may not be able to change and have control over the situation or the experience, but you can control your way you handle the experience. So I encourage you to stop giving that power away to your twin, to anyone. Stop being the victim, be the victor. Take responsibility for this. And another couple ways you do this is you make a choice. Like, if you're putting your happiness into someone else, only you can choose to be happy. I said this in a personal post today about some own experiences myself and how to transform that pain. And I put that, how I've been showing up with some clients lately and letting them know that I am not at my best, but I'm showing up the best I can. And when I have healed, when I show up to heal, I always heal. And it's not me really being a healer anyway. It's really just the facilitator of awakening inside of a person, the healing within and gaining the own power. And in doing this, when you put your own pain into a purpose and you don't wait to get where you need to be, you heal in the process. So if you're unhappy, I encourage you to go out and make someone else smile, and it will make you smile, and it will transform your pain. And so how you feel and how you want to live and how you want to show up and how you want to experience love, it can only come to you in the form that you put out. So if you're putting out love, and love only from the highest condition, unconditional love, not the highest condition, the highest unconditioned, it only can come back to you in the form of love. But you do have to be open to receive it and letting down your walls. And the best thing you could do is become the person you want to be with. And that person will magnetize to you. I'm seeing all these shifts I'm talking about taking place within my own situations, my own self, and my own experiences. So I'm going to have some resources for you below with the links that I just mentioned, with the 3 waves of twin flames. I'm also going to put on there, I feel this playlist coming through about twin flame obsession. That would be a good one for you to watch if you've not already watched all of my videos on that. And I feel like there's something else. Oh, you know, I do have an older video about twin flame taboo, and is it taboo? You know, is twin flame taboo? I'll put a link to that too, just in case you haven't saw it. It's an older one, but for whatever reason, because some people, you know, have this concept of the twin flame taboo. And again, what does it mean to be a twin flame in 2021? Because it's ever changing. So just to kind of really just sum this up, you need to make sure to these 3 ways to lose this label, to realize that only the toxicity is within yourself, and until you choose to stop running from you, the runner-chaser dynamic will continue. And then you need to take personal responsibility for your vibration and stop waiting for a twin flame or anyone to show up, to realize you're the one creating it, and that only you can make the changes and choices within you in order for you to magnetize everything you want. Okay, I send you guys so much love. Please let me know in the comments below if this video has helped you, if you have any specific questions on it. And I have a huge announcement that's going to be super exciting coming up soon. Actually, more than one, like a bunch of different ones coming. So stay tuned for those, because I can't wait to share with you some really new and exciting things that I have coming in the forecast up front. And what I also right now feel guided to say, sometimes our setbacks are, and I've said this before, are really the momentum to propel further faster. So where in one end, this whole twin flame journey sets us back, or like with me having went through what I've been through with the healing has been what's felt like a huge setback. It's really shifted me in a direction already I see that is something that would have came, but it's speeding up the timeline. So things happen in our lives to redirect us so that we can propel, we can fast track to our highest version of everything, where we're in control and we slow it down in the human form. All right, see you in the next video, and may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.